YouTube, how you doing? This is a little bit of a different video, this one. What we're doing, we're going to do some dreadlock maintenance on some new dreads. New dreads, here they are. So the dreads were put in maybe a couple of weeks ago, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can kind of push the process on a little bit. Okay, so as you can see here, thanks very much, camera person. So you can see some of these are starting to dread up nicely, but we want to speed that up a little bit. Now, bear in mind, precursor, this is my recommendation. There are other ways of doing this. You could just kind of leave these dreads where they're at, and they will do that over time. But this is just going to help the process on a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to check. I'm just going to take this one, okay, and I'm just going to check that it's kind of backcombed enough. See, it's pretty tight, so I don't need to get in there with there and do any kind of re-backcombing with it. So you can see with it that actually it's quite flat. Because once you lie on these, when you kind of once you lie on them, when you sleep on them, they just go flat. Now, what this is going to do is going to kind of give them that round shape as well. Okay, so I'm using the trusty crochet hook. Okay, we could spend hours on this kind of separating the hair as well, but I haven't got all day. So what I'm doing with the crochet hook here, it's a 0.6. You don't want any bigger than that, so 0.6. Okay, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here. I'm not going to go too close to the root. Because if you go too close to the root, they kind of stick up like this, and that's not a good look. Okay, so I'm just going to go in, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to start putting the hairs in. Okay, and the hairs are going to tighten up, and they're going to start knotting each other inside the dreadlock. Okay, and I'm spinning it around while I do that, because it encourages the kind of round shape. Okay, and you can already see after like 20 seconds or so that it's already much tighter than this area right here. See that? Okay. So it's pulling. Not only is it kind of locking inside the dreadlock, but it's also taking in the loose hair from around the dreadlock as well and pulling it into the dread. So the dread's going to be nice and thick. Okay. I'm not doing this too hard, because if you do this too hard, then it starts to snap the hair, and snapping the hair is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Okay. So I'm just see some of this loose hair. I'm putting it in. Okay. And you can start to see that that's starting to form kind of rounded dreadlock. And now this process will happen naturally. It will happen naturally over like months and over years. But in a crazy fast-paced society, we want stuff now. So that's all this is. So I'm just going to twist it around and get the hair from the other side of the dreadlock and pull it in. Okay, nice and soft, not too hard. Apart from anything else, health and safety tip, if you do it too hard, you're more than likely going to stab your finger, and it's the worst pain ever, even worse than standing on a plug. It's just horrific pain. Okay, so I'm going to carry on going down this dreadlock like this, and with the power of YouTube and inexpensive video editing equipment, I'm going to fast forward this through. Okay, but I'm going to ask Sukhi to keep on filming as I go all the way down.
That's actually quite amazing. So all you're really doing is encouraging the hair to knot itself, right?
Yeah, and it
That's
will, yeah. So it's just putting it into place and helping it along a little bit. And as I say, hair will naturally do this, but it's avoiding the kind of poofy look that you get in the first couple of months. So which is cool. You can have the poofy look if that's kind of what you're going for, but.
So you know earlier you kind of said that they go flat because you sleep on them. So is there anything that you can kind of put on them after you've done this process to kind of keep them in?
I would say yeah, and I'll show you that. There's a thing called palm rolling, and I'll show you that in a bit.
Okay.
Kind of getting down towards the end, where I'd say where the end of the hair is dreaded, because there's quite a lot of this stuff which is, it's knotted, but I wouldn't call that dreaded. I'd call that just knotted. So
Look at the difference. It's already so much more.
So what I'm going to be doing later on is this, which is palm rolling. And that just compresses it down even further, like that. It helps it to round off as well.
Yep.
And then you can go in again with a dreadlock again, with the crochet needle again, and it'll just tighten it up even more. Okay. And then, because I'm going in sideways at the moment as well, what you want to watch is not to go kind of this way, because if you do that, you can go that way, but you're going to lose a whole load of length. Okay. The dread's going to shrink up anyway over time, because that's what it does. As the hair knots tighter and tighter, you're going to lose more and more length of the hair. But I want to try and avoid losing as much length as possible by going in sideways, okay? So we'll fast forward again, because this has taken ages, so we'll fast forward again in a minute. But I just want to show you the difference between those two. Okay, so we got kind of half dreaded hair there, and then we got something kind of starting to resemble a nice tight dreadlock. And that's taken me, what, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm a big fan of using the crochet hook. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate us for this because they think it should be done naturally. That's all good, but I'm an advocate for this method because it gets you to where you want to be quicker. So we are almost down to the bottom. Okay, you can see that that's nice and tight. Just show you a kind of bit of difference. It needs some more tidying up, but I'm just showing you quickly the difference between the two. Okay, so it's now kind of rounded. Okay, I can feel that already, that it's nice and tight and compact in there actually, which is really good. It's going to help it as it forms. Now, just a quick one on the end. Blunted tips. If you want blunted tips, Louise, I don't know if you want blunted tips. You can take them out afterwards if you want to, but I'm just going to show you on this one how to kind of get kind of blunted tips like that. So this is where you change the process. This is where you come in from the top down like that, and you pull the hair up like this, and it goes up and up and up like that. Okay, so you're pulling hair up, and you can already see it start to round off. So all you're doing is you're taking hair from the wispy hair from the body, you're pulling it up into the body of the dread like that. Okay, and this can take ages as well. Okay, I've seen a few other people, a few different techniques with blunted tips where you do that and you wrap it around and do it that way. You can do it like that if you want to, and then pull the hair into the dread like that. But what this tends to do is it may lose a little bit more length if you do it this way. Okay, but I'm just doing it like this just to kind of show you how this works. Okay. And this is, I think it was Skill Teacher, available on YouTube, uses this method when he puts other people's dreads on. It's unfortunate for him because he's as bald as a coop. He has no hair at all. It's amazing that he's as bald as he is, but he's as good as he is with dreadlocks. So this is really quick. I need to tidy this up and then I'll show you the finished result in just a little while. Okay. Okay, so it needs a little bit more tidying up, but you can see, okay, from here, this is where we started, this is where we finished. This is just 10 minutes or so with the crochet hook on each dread. And you can see there's still quite a lot of loops of hair that need to pull in. You can be kind of strict with that in the early days, but I wouldn't probably tie them up too tight. So it's cool to have this little bit in the early days. But they're pretty neat after just 10 minutes. That's pretty neat. And the good thing about this technique as well is that it hasn't lost a lot of length. If you look at this one, it's in a similar part of the head, so it's close, so the hair's going to be similar length. Apart from the wispy bit at the end of a pull in, it hasn't really lost any length at all. Okay? So it's a good way of getting dreads straight away without you losing too much length in the process. Okay, just a nice neat dread. Now, palm rolling. What it is this. What are you doing? Ooh, hang on. Okay. That's palm rolling. You just compact it and it kind of rounds it off a little bit.
Nice.
So there is a finished dread in about 10 minutes.
Boom.
Cool. Any questions, then fire them down on the comments box and subscribe. Do all that kind of crazy YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching. God bless.